everyone, it's Haley Clover, your host, and this is another episode of CMO Weekly, brought to you by our sponsor, Open Fortune. Open Fortune has changed marketing forever by putting ads into fortune cookies that are distributed through 100,000 restaurants in 30 different countries. In a world where consumers are seeing 3,000 to 5,000 ads a day, Open Fortune is helping your brand surprise and delight customers while breaking through the noise. So thank you to Open Fortune for making this episode possible. Okay, today my guest has helped bring casino evolution to life, from table games to digital innovation. Sovanna Phan is CEO and founder of PlayJeux Studios and the co-founder of PlayJeux Gaming, two companies that are redefining interactive casino content for regulated markets in North America. With 2 decades across casino floors and online gaming rules, Sovanna brings deep expertise in product strategy, omni-channel integration, and a keen focus on optimizing player experiences, enhancing customer satisfaction, and cultivating high-performing teams. Recognized for exceptional relationship-building skills and the ability to thrive in high-pressure environments, Sovanna is a consummate professional in the gaming industry, and we are so excited to chat with you today. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you for having me here.
Of course, yeah. I was excited to chat, and we've been chatting already before we got the cameras rolling, so you're going to have to
No
repeat
problem.
a couple of things for the listeners. But let's talk a little bit, about your early career. So you started on the gaming floor in a casino, correct?
I started, and the legal age in Quebec is to go into casinos 18 years old.
Okay.
So when I turned 18, the first time that I set foot in the casino was just to visit the casino when I was in training to become a croupier or casino floor dealer. And the second time was actually to start working. So I started as a summer job. I was in college and was dealing, and that was when I discovered the fascinating world of casino.
So that's really what got you into it, and then you were hooked from that moment.
I was hooked. I was mesmerized. I mean, you can't think of a cooler job when you're 18. So working in the casino, big money. It's like every night when you go on the floor, it's like you're giving a show.
Yeah. So the entertainment aspect, and then talk a little bit about how did you parlay that into iGaming? How did you kind of take that online?
Sure. So I did a little bit more than a decade long in the land-based casino. Went from dealer all the way to a table game specialist. So at the end of my journey in the land-based, I was a table game specialist. And then back around 2009, the government of Quebec gave the green light to Lotto Quebec, because the Montreal casino where I used to work is operated and belongs to Lotto Quebec. So they gave the green light for Lotto Quebec to launch online gaming. But back then, there was no one has any knowledge or expertise in everything that's iGaming. So they needed to build the expertise in-house. So I was selected to be the head of casino to lead the team to launch online. In 2010, successfully, we launched the first, alongside with another Canadian lotteries, British Columbia lotteries, we launched the online casino lotteries for Lotto Quebec. We went live, and that's the first regulated model that went live in North America years before the US went live.
Wow.
So that started. And then after that, I just stayed there until 2020 as the head of online casino. And in 2020, I left to start my own business venture.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about that business venture, because I know that there's a lot going on with PlayJeux right now.
Yeah.
Some exciting things that we'll dive into. But yeah, can you give everyone first that's listening that maybe hasn't heard of you all just a bit of a background on what PlayJeux is?
Yeah.
And then we'll kind of go in from there.
Definitely. So PlayJeux, when I founded PlayJeux, we wanted to create something new to the iGaming industry. And just to explain a little bit of the backstory on how we started PlayJeux, I have to go back to my years when I was the head of online. So one of the perks of being the head of online casino at Lotto Quebec is I get to meet with all these fantastic suppliers. Anyone who want to go do business or want to bring content, do business in Canada, they need to go through us. They need to speak, like in Quebec, like I get to speak with all these big companies, IGT, Like and Wonder, name it, okay? So I get to see all their roadmap, and I've always been working with them like, hey guys, this is fun, this is cool, but what about games that are more social? There's a lot of things happening in the social casino. What about multiplayer? Can you bring that? But all these companies, they're faced with legacy technology, so that's why I'm like, you know what? If I cannot get that for Lotto Quebec, I'm just going to start my business and build it myself. So that's how PlayJeux started. I wanted to start a business where we were going to develop our own platform that would give us that capability to develop multiplayer experience. Some games are more fun, and redefining how games are played, and break that solitary gaming experience. And you could say like that for iGaming. So start the business, did a fundraise, local investor I was fortunate enough to find like a group of local investor. They fund the business, and in 2021, when we closed, early 2021, we closed a fund round. We started the business, and 4 years in the development, and we just went live yesterday.
It's so exciting.
It
I know.
is.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
So, I mean, how does that feel emotionally? That's got to be such a great feeling to be working on something for so long and then finally see your baby essentially out there in the wild
It
for
is.
everybody.
It is. I mean, in the journey of startup, you try to celebrate every single little victory that you have, every single fun thing. But to us, we know that that's not like the end of the journey yet.
Yeah.
We're happy. You could say that it's like a big relief. There's a lot of sense of pride and satisfaction because the whole team is working for 4 years. But we know that's not the end game. If I could use I'm Canadian, so I'm going to use a hockey metaphor. It's like we're a hockey team and we just made the playoff. And when a team makes the playoffs, like you're ready for the playoff season. That's like where the real season starts. So this is it. So yesterday, I'm really happy. We went live with Logic Quebec. They're the first one in the world to launch it. So we're bringing online multiple table games. So now the game is starting. With the next step, what's coming up for us, like really rolling out, bringing more content. The real season is start because up until today, or I would say up until yesterday, we've been working behind the scene kind of thing because we're a tech business.
Right. So talk a little bit about the strategy of getting this launched. What was the focus to make sure that everyone kind of knew that PlayJeux was here and that it was an offering for them amongst the others that they, had to choose from? How do you kind of get yourself ready to break through the noise there in this industry where there's a lot of competition?
It is. So the first part is we are very fortunate to have a partnership agreement with one of our industry giant, Like and Wonder. Okay, so Like and Wonder is this big company. They are everywhere. They have the most on the regular market. Have the most operators integrated to them. Okay, so we're very grateful and thankful to them that all our content will flow through them. Mm-hmm. So Like and Wonder is helping us with bringing to showcasing our games, bring us to meet with all the key operators, and making us known to the industry. Because that's the first part. So all the game will flow through them. So in terms of distribution, any operators in the world who has access to Like and Wonder platform, they can access our multiplayer games down the road. Okay,
Got it.
The first part. And then lately, I started doing some interview and so on. Like namely, one of the interview I did was with the reputed magazine Gambling IQ. Mm-hmm. The June edition, I really like the June edition. They call it Beautiful Mind. They talk about innovation in the industry. And throughout the interview, feel very grateful. So we were selected as the rising star #1 in our industry,
Yeah.
Because we really bring something new to the market, and Gambling IQ recognize the value that we're bringing, that we're not just doing another game, we're focused on the player, focused on the community aspect, bring the game fun. Mm-hmm. I've been in the casino world my entire life. And when you go in the land-based casino, when you sit on a blackjack table, roulette table, when you gamble, you play with your friend, it's fun. Mm-hmm. I want to bring that fun and make it people experience it online. How do we do that? We believe we found an answer to that, and that's what we're bringing through PlayJeux.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about that? Is PlayJeux it can be a multiplayer place, for where friends can come together.
Exactly.
And they can play together to make it feel like they're having that in-person type of experience.
PlayJeux. So first of all, PlayJeux, we have that multiple platform, and then we're taking like the classic games, so table game and slot, and we make it like people can play together. So when you log into into our platform, you can join a public room, or if you want, you could just message your friend. You'd be like, hey, you know what? Why don't we just do a little session of playing blackjack together? Go and create your own private room. And then you play with your own private room, and then we're going to have gamification features. And down the road, part of our roadmap, you're going to have a little tournament. You want to do like a family tournament, friend tournament. You just want to play you and a bunch of friends. You guys just want to put like $5, $10. Go ahead, you can do that. But these are the kind of features and functions that you cannot do in other type of product that also offer multiple, such as live casino. This is more complex. It will involve dealers, real person deal. Whereas we're bringing that fun element, that social element. So to let the user create the gaming environment experience that they want to play. And that's the whole concept.
Yeah, well, and it's smart too because I think looking at it, it's funny, you just launched yesterday, but looking to the future, which you are always doing, thinking about the opportunity of, bringing in experience with, gosh, I mean, the sponsors that you could have within those rooms and within that type of multiplayer universe where people can order food together and they can do all of these things together. It's like the opportunity is endless with that type of setup.
It does. With with our type of setup, the possibility, name it, like we, and we. I feel like we're just touching the tips of the iceberg. Okay, that's the first part, and we are strong believer that multiplayer is going to be that next big vertical in our industry. Okay, and we're not just saying that just based on our guts feeling, and we are everything is based, and we look a lot on what's happening on the video game industry. If you look into the video game industry, for those of you who are like among the listener who are old enough, back in the 70s, when how video games started, it's a single player, it's a console, that Pong game thing, and then evolve, and then after that, you got like the console, you got mobile, you got multiple, so you have that natural evolution. I believe that iGaming is following that right now. iGaming has been developing a lot in the past 20, 25 years, but the expense is very solitary. Now it's time to shift, and then the natural shift is to go towards multiplayer and everything. And we're among the first one to try it. Will our gaming concept will work and everything? God knows, we don't know, no one knows about that until we actually launch a product. But we're there, we want to bring innovation, and we're ready to explore all the kind of things that we can do. You talk about like you can order stuff. Yeah, maybe down the future you can organize, let's say, a tournament playing with your friends in one of a slot, because we develop multiplayer slot, in which I'll tell you a little bit more about it. And maybe you can just click a simple click button, pizza delivered to your place. Everything's possible.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. How do you translate, or how do you, when you all are talking about the message that you want to put out there, how do you kind of build the trust from people that maybe are strictly wanting to be in the casino and they want, that type of experience? How do we get those people to move to online gaming?
Yeah. Well, the first part, we are a B2B business. Okay, we are a supplier. We are not PlayJeux. We're not an operators. We don't operate a online casino games. Okay. Secondly, we work only with regulated operators.
Okay.
Like in one, there is the big giant industry company, and among the client, they operate only in regulated operators. So we're talking about like government lotteries and then fully licensed operators. Okay. So because these lotteries and operators are fully licensed, so the end user, the player, they already have that trust factor.
Gotcha.
They know that if they go and create an account, their money that they're going to deposit, the player's information, it's not going to end up in other shady website and so on.
Right.
So we don't need to be concerned about that, okay? Because since we're not on operators, we don't need to be concerned about the player data protection, because we don't have access to that. All the player information stays with the operators. We are a gaming supplier, so our role is to develop the game and to make sure that it meets every single regulation in the world.
Right.
And that's the hardest challenge, because everyone talk about doing innovation and everything, but in our industry, we're hyper regulated. If you have an idea for a product, if your product failed to meet just one standard in any other market, you need to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge.
It's very hard.
It's very hard. We're fortunate to be able to work with companies such as Gaming Laboratory International, so GLI, the certificate. So normally GLI, I know them since I started in iGaming. They've been there since they want to guide us. So whenever we have any question and everything, we can go to them. Hey, we're not quite sure how to do this new features, and then what this regulation, what do you think about that? If we develop like this, will it work and everything? So we're very fortunate to have that kind of relationship with them.
Yeah.
And that allows us to create innovative content.
That's really nice. Do you find that those types of relationships are normal in this business, or does it feel, competitive a lot of the time?
I would say it's not normal.
Okay.
In our business, because and maybe that comes from the land-based background in our industry, whereas you got operators, and then you got manufacturer, supplier, and then you got service providers and everything. And the models, and then land-based is a lot. It's like, supply, manufacturer, they're selling, and then operator, it's like a buy, like the classic one. Whereas online, it's different. because of the economic model where everything is about rev share, so it costs with this partnership. So the way we work with GLI as an example, they're not just a service provider. We consider them as a partner, and we're fortunate enough that they like us and they consider us a partner as well.
Yeah.
And they spend time. They're not just there just to build their time that they're going to spend in the meeting and everything. And then with the lotteries, we're like, hey, listen, we're a supplier, we got tech, we got knowledge, we got expertise in there, but is there anything that you want to see? And let's try to develop something. You know best your customer and your own market, okay? So let's work together, let's do session, and that's how we build most of our roadmap.
Yeah.
So this, I would say like in the iGaming part, that exists, that synergy, that partnership, which coming from my land base here, I don't see it very much in the land base yet. It's starting to change, but I don't see it very much.
If you had a dream partnership for PlayJeux, who would that be, or where would you love to see,
If I have a dream partnership,
Yeah.
I would say a big known brand house, like a strong IP, because on one side we have tech, we got distribution, we got skills to develop next generation of multiplayer games. Everywhere I go, I always say multiplayer is not a feature, that's the future. Okay, it would be great if we can partner with with a company who has like a strong brand in the entertainment industry. All right, so we can just take the entertainment brand and then let's create your world and make your world experience in online and bring it online in iGaming. So that's what would be great,
I love that. Did you say that? I want to make sure I heard you correctly. Did you say multiplayer is not the feature, it's the future? Is that what you just said?
Multiplayer is not a feature, it's the future.
I love that. That's
like
such a good slogan. You need to post that everywhere if you haven't already.
We have two slogans. So the first one, and that's our company motto.
Okay.
Where gamers meet gamblers. So we're building. When we talk about multiplayers, we're building this environment, this universe where we want to bring gamers and gambler and find it. Okay. Yeah. So our product is designed in a way that it's not gonna disrupt too much the gamblers, because the gambler, they used to play the game the way it's currently played.
Right.
But we want to introduce them like the gaming world, the gamification world. And then you got the video gamer, which might not be familiar with gambling product. So we want to introduce them slowly and then they get together and come together. So that's the first thing. And the second one is, multiplayer is not a feature, it's the future.
I love that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's really, really clever. And
Maybe I should trademark it. Maybe
Yeah,
I should
you
go to yours and trademark.
No, it's so smart because, the marketing of a lot of maybe of your competitors, and this is without a ton of research or knowledge on my part, but that is something that they may market as a really cool feature of their product. But you're right, it doesn't necessarily need to be a feature. It just is the ecosystem of what the offer is, and that's where you're hoping to move the industry in general.
Yeah.
So
I'll share you a little funny, a little story.
Yeah.
When we made a pitch to invest a potential investor, how like in the pitch and everything, you would tell them, okay, here's my TAM, so which stands for total addressable market. We're talking about like this is the video game industry. This is we call that the real money wager, like the iGaming industry. Here's how much you worth. And then the normal classic way would be like, we're aiming to go and capture X% of this market, and then that's going to be a market. In my case, I go to no, we're not doing none of that. You got the video game, and then after that, you got the iGaming industry. We're not doing all of that. We're simply gonna go and create our own TAM, our own market. We believe there will be a market that's gonna be called multiplayer iGaming, and that's the market. And we are pioneering that. There's other companies that are doing multiplayer. No one has found the secret recipe of what is multiplayer. And when you ask anyone in the world, in our industry, what is your vision of a multiplayer games, I'm sure that all of them have different definition. We came up with our own definition. Is it the right one and everything? I don't know, but we're trying out there, right? That's the attitude. So we're going there and we believe there's a new market and that's what we're going for.
I love that. So to focus us a bit on the marketing side of things, since our podcast obviously focuses on marketing, how do we then take that idea of, okay, this is the universe we want to create, and we're hoping that this is the right one, we think it's the right one. How do we then market this to, the businesses that you're hoping to work with?
Yeah.
Is it mostly traditional types of marketing, or
that's the biggest challenge, you know.
Yeah.
If we would be a mobile gaming app developer, we would create an app and then we would create, let's say, the storyline, you know, like the storyline of our multiplayer experience, wrap it up and release it in iOS as a native app, right? People would be able to download it and play it. So we could, let's say we decide to do a multiplayer with the theme of Egyptian, so the whole thing will be based on Egyptian. Here it's different. We are a supplier, okay? And then you have all these big operators out there. You got the lotteries, and then you got like the market leader, the tier one operators in the US, like we're talking about like DraftKings, FanDuel, Fanatics,
Yep.
BetMGM, and they have their own branding. They have their own players' experience on their website. Okay, so in our case, a supplier, we need to develop a solution in which it has to be flexible enough that we can customize it, that we can customize the look and feel, we can adapt it to so they can integrate it in their own branding. That the multiplayer experience will falls in and it's like a natural fit. It's not just that little thing that once you go in there and you feel like you're out of, let's say a BetMGM players, he feel like he's getting out of BetMGM. No, we want this to be an extension. So we work hard on defining that. So all the operators who can take a solution, they will be able to customize the whole player's experience because ultimately it's their player's journey experience. And we are bringing a multiplayer, which is a new journey in the player's experience. And we develop in a way that they can customize and define it the way they want it.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge, okay? And that's what we're bringing to the market.
Yeah, it's hard, and it's you know, it's like trying to find the new and it's almost like gamifying the way in which you can talk to these folks to get them excited about what that experience will be for for their consumers.
Yeah. And I'm a strong believer that often for players, yes, when players go and gambles and everything, the financial reward, trying to hit a jackpot and everything, that's one of the motivation to go and play the games. But often that's not the only reason why they would go gamble. Okay, they would go gamble for the entertainment part. They want to experience, they want to have the fun part, and that's what we're making sure we're bringing. And who knows better what the players want beside the operator itself. So I'm very keen. So we're very sensitive to that. Having worked my entire life in the gaming industry, that we're bringing a solution to them, and then we tell all the operators like, you can customize, you can change the look and feel the way you want it to adapt to what your players like, because you know your players best than I do. Right? So that's the pitch.
Right. Now, just to touch on PlayJeux a little bit, is that also a B2B platform, or is that directly to consumer?
It's a B2B. It's a studio. PlayJeux is a studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that explain that a little bit.
So PlayJeux started with my business associate, Tony Pascal. So he's the managing director, he's the founder of PlayJeux, and so on. And then PlayJeux started with we saw like an opportunity. You know, and that goes back to my years when I was at Lotto Quebec, and then asking all the suppliers like, hey, how come you're not bringing this type of game and so on? So what I can tell you, it's like in the iGaming back in the days, we're going back like maybe 7-8 years ago, no one was developing any Keno, but I know very well that Keno was a strong product vertical in our land-based casino, and not just in Quebec where I'm from, but all across Canada and even in the US.
In the US, yeah, for sure.
You go in the US casino with Barstool and everything, you see these Game King, Cabinet, and so on. You always see video poker and Keno. You know, it's strong everywhere. So I'm like, so if no one's doing it, let's do it. So with my business associate, he founded PlayJeux, started, and we developed the first two Keno games that we developed. Very simple, basic game. But you know what? Just in Quebec, okay, these are these two Keno games, the respective number 2, number 3 in terms of revenue performance in Quebec. There's only one game that beat our game in Quebec, and we're talking about like data like 2 years ago about. It's that game coming from one of the supplier, which they offer a $1 million because of jackpot. But after that, it's our Keno game. So Canada has a strong Keno history. I believe the same thing in the US, but I believe Keno will also fit everywhere because basically it's just a drawing number. And a drawing number, that kind of games, it could go to any territory, any market.
Yeah, so you obviously have a knack for, you know, seeing the future, being able to kind of point out where there's opportunity within, this space, of course. But if you had somebody that came to you and said, how do you look at things from that kind of future lens? Or if I wanted to kind of find the next opportunity like that, like how do I find that, or what do I do?
So the first thing I would say, find a niche. Okay, that's the first thing. I don't have the recent stat, but I'm sure there's a thousand of, let's just refer to that single player slot that are being released every month in all industry worldwide. Okay, and if you're a new company, a startup, and then you want to jump into iGaming as a studio, as a supplier, game developer, you're not going to be able to be like in Wonder, IGT, and name it, Relax and all that. You'd be surprised the whole infrastructure they have in terms of developing, how much budget they have, like a team R&D, and you're not going to be able to beat that because their machines, they've been building an infrastructure for like the past 15, 20 years and so on. So, and it's very costly to develop a game. And when you're a startup, if your game fail, you cannot absorb too much failure. Then you're going to end up being bad. So that's always my mindset and my mindset with my business associate. So what we do is we try to find something new, something niche, and you know what? We're going to do it better than all of them, and we'll be first to market, and that's it. We've been first on the market with Kino. Nowadays we have about PlayJeux Gaming has about 12, 15 Kino out there in the market, and now in multiplayer we're going to be first. We're going to be first to launch a regulated model of a multiplayer table game and a new multiplayer slot with a concept that we call a GameLinker, which is something completely new, and it's niche. And we're going to go out there, and we're going to be first. And in order for people to catch up to us, they need to go through the same development process that we had to do, which is building that backbone technology. And multiplayer. It's not something that they can just go out there and copy it. They need that whole knowledge and that infrastructure. So that's where we are.
That's amazing. It sounds like to me, to summarize it, it's find a niche, have a passion about it, of course.
Yes.
And then have confidence.
It
takes a lot of confidence to say, to be able to say, I know we're going to do this the best. I know we're going to be first in this. I know we're going to be able to, take over our competition. It's great.
And resilience, because you're going to get a lot of no's. When we started multiplayer, God knows how many PowerPoint presentation that I did. And trying to explain a gaming concept through a PowerPoint, it's not easy, okay? And some people, we had some early believers, some other, they don't see it. And I respect everyone's opinion, but I believe in it. And so a no doesn't mean that your project is dead. Just keep grinding, keep pushing in it, and then you're gonna go. Because no one knows what the future holds, It's like where I always say that at some point, in our industry, there will be a studio, someone's going to come out that idea that's going to be the next Angry Bird in iGaming. So maybe we might be having that Angry Bird moment. I don't know. So we're launching out there. So we'll see how it goes.
Hey, you can't find out unless you try.
Exactly. And Angry Bird's a beautiful story. I mean, King, before they released Angry Bird, they had 100 other games, 100 other failure before they reach.
That's always how it works, right? Yeah. I mean, you have to continue to try and try and try, and all of those failures teach you everything you need to know that help you then get to that one big, monster of a success.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, and I hope that's what happens for PlayJeux. That's so exciting. And
thank you.
And congratulations again on launching yesterday. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Before we get into our rapid fire round, if people are interested in getting involved and following along with PlayJeux, where can they find?
We're active on LinkedIn, not so much on Instagram yet. So we're gonna start posting like updates, game launch news about us. We're on LinkedIn. We also have a newsletter. You can go directly to our website. So it's PlayJeux Studio. And by the way, PlayJeux, jeux stand for games. And that's our French part because Montreal is a bilingual city.
I know, I'm trying my best to pronounce that correctly,
but
and not like an
right.
American.
You're really good with it. And you could go there and then just subscribe to a newsletter. PlayJeux, and the next 12 months we're gonna have like so many fantastic announcements. I'd love to be able to share more, to reveal more. We have this, been 4 years we've been developing this roadmap, and now's the time. Now we're gonna start rolling out,
That's
and
great.
I can't wait for this summer when we're gonna launch like a multiplayer slots. It's something really new. Everyone that we show the game, they love it. With our GameLinker mechanic, they just love it. I can't wait.
No, it's good. Then it's a good time for people to, hop on the board now and get involved because
Yeah.
there just will be a lot coming here in the next, 12 months. It sounds like that they'll be excited to see.
Exactly.
That's great. Okay, cool. Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much. Let's get
Thank
into
you for
some.
having me.
Of course, it's been fun. Let's get into some rapid fire questions round.
Okay.
Again, this is just to learn a bit more about you as a person and have some
I'm ready.
fun.
Do I get a
and-
prize after? Do I get a fortune cookie? Can I
Yes,
get one
you
of them?
do. You absolutely do. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? Open Fortune will give you as many as you want to eat.
I love the concept of Open. Shout out to Open Fortune.
It's
by the
fun.
way.
It's
I
a
really
fun
love it.
way, like we said in the beginning, to kind of break through the noise of all of your regular,
Yeah.
marketing. It's a cool experiential
Agree.
marketing tactic. Okay, so first question: what is your favorite city in the world?
It has to be Montreal. It's my hometown. I don't know. Normally, I don't do bet that I'm not sure winning, but when it comes to bet with friends and everything, sometimes I just do a bet
happens.
just to, and knowing very well I'm gonna lose, but at least it's gonna make the mood very fun.
Yeah. Okay. No, I love it.
Yeah.
What was your first job ever? Ever? Like even outside of the gaming industry, your first job as a kid?
As a kid, so and I'm proud of that. It was working in a farm, and then I was very young. I was in elementary school. It was a summer job, going pick up strawberry in the field.
Fun.
And we didn't
Love
make
that.
a lot of money back then, but we were talking about like 10 years old. We go pick up strawberry, you end of the day with 20, 30 dollars, but it's just being out there on the farm. That's when I discovered being out there in nature and so on. It was like a summer job, and we take go with family and speak up, and I love it.
I think that's great.
I think I ate more strawberry than
Well, of
the amount
course,
that I pick it up. but
as you
that's
should. That's a rite of passage when you have that kind of job. What's the worst advice you've ever been given?
But the worst advice I've been given is when someone tell me, don't do it, it's not going to work.
Yeah, how do they know?
Yeah, it's like I respect everyone's opinion, and one of the advice I receive is when you have an ideas and everything, it's good to go and consult people that you look up to, your boss, people who has much more life experience than you do. So I'm just out there, and I like to talk about the plan, the dream, and everything, just to get everyone's opinion. So to everyone out there who are in the, I would say like in more like in a leadership position or like mentorship, there's no such thing as a bad idea. Okay, an idea can become like, if someone comes to you with an ideas and everything, the least you can do is just take the time to listen. You don't need to agree with it,
Yeah.
but I did receive a lot. That's a bad idea. You should not do it. So,
Great answer. Coffee or tea? What's powering your morning?
I'm known as a coffee guy.
Like multiple cups a day coffee guy?
Multiple cup, but I would not exceed 3.
Okay, that's not bad. I just read something the other day actually that said black coffee, of course, not when we like add all the extra stuff, but drinking multiple black coffees a day can actually help your memory. So there you go. You're on your way to having an amazing memory. Okay, your team. If they had to describe your energy by a cocktail, what cocktail would you be?
By a cocktail.
I know, random, very random question.
They know that my favorite cocktail is gin tonic.
Oh yeah.
So I got that gin tonic. It's tonic. It's like that that hype and everything. And I am known. I admit sometimes I'm a little bit too passionate about what I do, what I explain and everything. So I try to bring it down one level notch whenever I talk with the teams and everything. But yeah.
So maybe you're a gin and tonic with a little passion fruit.
Passion fruit, or maybe you know what? Put a little bit. It wouldn't be a good combination. You see, I'm not a barman. I was going to say put some Tabasco and make it a little bit spicy.
Oh, I don't know. Some people like
Gin tonic with Tabasco.
I've never tried it. We'll have to try it maybe later. Okay, and then last question. Is there any marketing from other companies, and it could be outside of the gaming space, that you're just loving right now or that catches your eye? What companies would that be?
I don't have any specific company that I can refer to, but I do enjoy, and I do give a lot of compliment to this company that they would tell their product or their service, whatever they bring to the market, through a story that will be that you feel like emotionally engaged, and that's what we're trying to do as well, because I mean, in our industry, for example, going from a slot provider to another, you have these video trailer with slots and everything's always the same thing. You show the feature, you show the bonus one, you show you can win big, different. So our first video we just released to talk about what is multiplayer table games, what we're bringing. So with the artists that we work on, and since they want to say, I don't care about showing the features. I want you to find a way to show, like to tell the story with, I want to capture the emotion, like the emotion of the joy of playing in there. And how do we do that on the video? And what he did, I personally, I love it. It's one that I'm happy with the end result. I really give him freedom of to create, and the result was just stunning. And he's someone who's not from the iGaming world. He
Yeah.
used to work in it, so it was a fun project, and I think we made. So it's all about company from a marketing standpoint. What's important is telling the story, and the story that your audience will believe in, and they will want to follow. They want to learn more, not just about game. That's my take.
I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm excited to follow along and watch what PlayJeux does over the next, I mean, multiple years, but over the next few months now that you've launched. And so I'm excited to see what happens, and can't thank you enough for giving us some of your time to sit down and chat.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed here.
Of course, and thank you again to Open Fortune for making this episode possible. And we will be back soon with another episode of CMO Weekly. See you next time.